Welcome back to the channel, WorryWart Gaming. If this is your first time here, like and subscribe. This is an addiction that I have, and I want to talk about games that I'm addicted to, and the first one is this. It's Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. This game hooked me, and because of its attention to detail in the gameplay, and it's not overly cumbersome, it's not technically difficult, it's deep but not too deep, it's very fast and very fluid, and I love the way that everything comes together to give me the experience that I'm having so far. Now, it's an anime style game, and if you're familiar with the Ys series, you know what to expect, but you don't need to play any of the other games to jump right in with this one. So as the main protagonist, you're whisked away onto a deserted island, and you spend your time exploring the island to find survivors of a shipwreck that you were in. And once you find them, you're able to build up a base camp to survive on the island. You're able to use the party members to help you get to other areas that you couldn't get to before. So let's say something was blocked off because there was a big boulder in the way. Once you get a certain amount of survivors, they can help you move that boulder and unlock other areas to explore, find more survivors, upgrade your base camp. So that's the basic gist of the gameplay, but it never becomes overwhelming. So leveling up in action RPGs, especially Japanese style action RPGs, sometimes is very cumbersome, but the leveling system is very fluid, very easy to understand. Mixing and matching different types of equipment is very easy. Upgrading is easy. It's just an extremely focused experience, and that's what's going to pull you into this game if you like this art style. And the story is very good. The characters are engaging, and the world is beautiful to explore, but it's this combat that has me hooked. It is so fast and so fluid. You can switch on the fly between different party members, and you have modifiers. So if you hold down the R1 button, you can set a modifier to whatever button you want. You can also hold R1 down for each character and set their modifiers to the same buttons as whatever character you like to play as. So it's never confusing when you want to use these abilities. When you're in combat, the basic attack is X, tapping R1 is block, holding R1 adds the multiplier. If you set it to, say, the square button, the circle button, and the triangle button, you're going to get 3 different modifiers. It's not hard to figure out that type of gameplay. Everything is geared towards being extremely fast and extremely fluid. There is a lock on. Triangle button locks you on to the nearest enemy. Tapping the stick left or right switches between enemy types on the screen. So I'm loving the fact that the exploration and the combat pair together so well. And again, jumping right into the menu system, mixing and matching, using items, everything's very fast and very fluid. It's this sort of melding of gameplay and the UI that make this such a joy to play. Let me tell you about something else I found extremely refreshing, and it was the writing and the story in this game. Now, I'm not saying that this is, again, some great novel that you're going to play through and remember forever, but the storytelling and some of the themes explored in this, they're very adult-oriented, and I love that because you don't see that in a lot of the Western style games. I think they're afraid to explore some of the themes in games like this, and I love the writing in this game. I mean, you start off with, one of your party members is naked in a river taking a bath, and you go through a really uncomfortable situation there. It really pulls you in and makes you laugh, and I didn't expect that in a game like this, and you don't really expect it in a lot of games that you play. And as you progress, now obviously those aren't like super mature themes, but there are a lot of other things explored in this game that you might find almost shocking because you just don't expect them in video games, especially in 2021. Now, this is an older game. It's sort of up-resed. I'm playing it on the PS4 Pro, but Ys 9 is out right now, and I promise you, if you give this a try, you're going to be hooked. The gameplay is definitely going to hook you because it never feels boring. It never gets bogged down, and it just never feels uninspired. You want to continue to explore. You want to continue to get into combat. The enemy types are very creative. The moves that you can pull off once you learn the combat system is very fun and very fulfilling, and I'm just finding it to be an absolute joy to play. Now, there are 2 perspectives in this game. One is the main protagonist, and you have these dream sequences and flashbacks where you play as Dana. And each of the gameplay styles in each of those worlds affects the other. And I don't want to get too much into the story here because I really want you to try it and maybe find yourself loving it. But once you get to those points, it just gets so much more interesting, and the world becomes so much more entwined with the story and what you're doing between one perspective and the other, that it hooks you even more. And again, I love the story in this game, and I think you're going to love it too, especially if you're not a fan of those random battle or turn-based battles in Japanese-style RPGs. This is a Japanese-style RPG in every way, except it's very action-oriented, so it borrows the best of the West with the best of the East, and I'm absolutely loving it. This is Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. I highly recommend you check this game out if you have any interest whatsoever in this art style, these types of games, and action-oriented role-playing games. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.